Hello, everybody. Hello, brothers and sisters. Yay, we're here again together. Welcome to Ascend to Joy with Christine Elwert. I'm a guide and a teacher and a facilitator of healing that's been certified by the Modern Mystery School in the lineage of King Solomon. In my last video, I was talking about identity and who we really are. And I talked about our role as royalty, as kings and queens of a kingdom that we are meant to reclaim, and what that's really all about. You know, that servant leadership that teaches us not only to know thyself, ourselves, but also helps us to understand other people so that we can appropriately serve them. Today, I'm going to talk about your identity as a divine being. I had said in the last video that my belief is that we are eternal beings. And therefore, we've never really been born and we never will die. This rental vehicle was born, and we will leave this rental vehicle, but not our true selves. And that we are, in fact, gods and goddesses in our own right. And as I said before, not the God, not the goddess, but gods and goddesses that were put here to create a world that is good for everybody. Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, that's my goal. And I want to encourage it to be your goal as well, to make this world a better place. So, step one in this process is beginning to understand that our own personal limitations are right here. Now, yes, this rental vehicle does have some limitations. I'm coming up on 70 years old, and I'm discovering in these little ways, some minor limitations that I'm experiencing. However, my true self, the self that is going to go on for all eternity, there are no limitations there. Because that divinity within me is the divinity that we all have. It is pure love. It is pure peace. It is pure joy. And it is powerful. There's a lot of stuff going on today about victimhood. Which is an interesting idea, right? As a psychologist, one of the things that I learned was something called the Karpman triangle. And that was a triangle that had three essential positionings that people took. There was the persecutor, there was the victim, and there was the rescuer. And different transactions happen between those positions. The Karpman triangle, okay, so we called them games. You know, these transactions are called games. There's Eric Berne wrote many different books on the games that people play. And it doesn't mean like a fun game, like children outside playing. It's talking about the kind of gamey, unhealthy ways that people relate to one another. And so victimhood has become a big, big topic. And I've noticed in myself and with other people, it's kind of almost like a natural go-to, you know. We have this odd, I'm sorry, I think it's odd, sense of justice, okay, that says that people can only treat me in this particular way, and when they don't, they're a persecutor, and I become a victim, and then I'm looking for a rescuer. There's a lot of movements today that are rife with that victim mentality. Now, within those same movements is empowerment. There are people who are moving out of those transactions and are claiming their power. Where are they claiming it from? It's the power of their divinity. You know, as a woman, I experience things differently than a man. And as somebody who in my past was very heavy, I experienced life differently than the body, the rental vehicle that I have now. And I had some ideas. I had some ideas of, you know, what I would tolerate and what I wouldn't tolerate. And that's not all bad. I don't think we should tolerate evil. We really shouldn't. And we need to push back. My definition of evil is this: anything that keeps anyone from progressing in the light. And so, yes, there are many things that we need to identify and change. But victimhood is kind of an interesting vibration in an individual. It's the idea that we're stuck, and that we're stuck because of somebody else. Now, if we need to go there first, before we say, oh, I'm stuck, and it's because so-and-so did this or didn't do this, or this system is this way, or this system is that way. If we need to identify it first, great. And then we need to move from a place of empowerment. Empowerment is not found in any part of the Karpman triangle. Not in the persecutor, not in the victim, not in the rescuer. So, our divinity requires that we step out of the game. The only way to win that game is to not play. And so we need to develop skills. First of all, again, know thyself. Know when you are falling into that role of victim, because as soon as you go there, you become disempowered. And that's not okay. That's absolutely not okay. We not only need to empower ourselves, but we need to bring about transactions that will empower other people. So our divinity, let's talk about that. Part of my training is as a spiritual warrior. And as a spiritual warrior, I was given and I accepted the name of a goddess that I was totally unfamiliar with at the time. In fact, there's kind of a funny story around that. When I was handed my goddess name, which was on a little slip of paper, I looked at it and it said N-U-T. I was like, okay, I know I can be kind of goofy sometimes, but you want to call me Nut? Didn't realize that Nut was a beautifully powerful goddess in the Egyptian pantheon, and that there were many things that I could learn from this archetype. And so I started to learn about Nut. And actually, it was very appropriate that I was given the name Nut, because she's often depicted as this woman who is arched over the earth, and she's blue, and she has stars all in her body because she's Mother Sky, and she's the protector of the children of earth. And I have a fierce protector in me. And I am certainly a mother. And I'm motherly. And I've had to learn to use that in a very positive way instead of an enabling way. But there are plenty of people who really need a good mom. And so I look for those opportunities. So the thing I've learned about Nut is that whenever I start feeling like a victim, I can step into that archetype and I can sense that desire to protect, that desire to empower, that desire to bring people together in a revolution of love. So I'm going to show you a different depiction of Nut. And it was given to me by a friend of mine. Her name's Judy. Thank you, Judy. And it's very powerful for me. So here's a depiction of Nut. What do I love about this? I love that she has her hand on her heart and that she has her other hand on a star that I believe is Earth. And that her entire aura is bright and shining and full of light. And that she's fiery. She's fiery. It's interesting because her story is that there was another god. She was connected, partnered with a god named Geb. And there was another god, Ra, that was very jealous of her relationship and wanted her for himself. And so he brought about all kinds of drama. Again, this is the story. And in that drama, tried to destroy Geb. And fiery goddess Nut said, no, you're not going to destroy him. And actually went after all of his dispersed parts to put him back together. And then she was forbidden to have children. And so she consulted with another god. In fact, the declaration was that she was not to give birth to a child in the 361 days of the year. And so she went to the god of time and pled with him. And he created new days. And in those new days, she gave birth to her beautiful children. There's so much more to the story, but you get the idea. So in conclusion, the divinity within us has no time, no room, no energy for victimhood. It is about empowerment. So if there is a need in your life for empowerment, please contact me, because I know the way, or I know a way, and I may be able to assist you. I would love to. Join us in the revolution of love, where there are no victims, there are no persecutors, there are no rescuers. There are empowered goddesses and gods working together to create Shambhala. I love you.